This is TWiT.
Tech Break is brought to you by ACI Learning. ACI Learning's newest tools strengthen your team on every level. Insights provides an overview of where your team needs the most help, while Cyber Skills fortifies skills for non-IT pros. Try it for yourself, then bring your team along. Fill out the form at go.acilearning.com/twit for a free 2-week trial.
Anyone who has used an Xbox or done anything online probably is familiar with the notion of toxicity. And I would say there's a special brand of toxicity you see in video games because it's a lot of guys just acting like guys, and a lot of terribleness occurs. I mute everybody online on Xbox for this reason. I can't stand it. Every once in a while, for whatever reason, I let everyone's mics on. It takes about 30 seconds. You're like, oh, yeah. That's why.
Oh, yeah. He remembers suddenly.
The guy singing to himself for some reason. The guy talking to someone else in the room. The guy with the TV on that you can hear the music. The guy shouting racist or sexist comments at his, screen, whatever it is. And it's like, I can't, geez, enough, mute, I think it's fair to say Microsoft has not done enough about this. There have been various initiatives over the years. There was a guy named Stephen Toulouse, who you guys may or may not remember, who unfortunately back in the early days of Xbox Live was responsible for this part of the company and was like those people who have to deal with horrible things online, and he had all kinds of issues, and unfortunately has passed.
Oh dear.
He was a great guy too. It's too bad. Anyway, they're doing something about it again. Right? And so the new system is based on a system of strikes like you might have with the DMV, although you get way more strikes with Xbox than you do with your local DMV. And the idea is that for whatever the affront is, it could be some of the things I just described. It could be cheating. It could be whatever it is. You will receive a strike for each incident. The strikes remain in your record for 6 months. If you get 8 strikes, you're out. They will suspend you. Actually, they were suspensions that occur along the way before then, I should say. So I think there's like a day-long expulsion after 1 strike, and then after 3, it's like 2 days or something. It kind of escalates over time. But if you actually get up to 8, you're out for a year. And we'll see how this goes. How
do you get strikes removed? Is it just time?
6 months. Was it 6 months?
If you don't teabag anybody for a whole 6 months.
Well, so this is the thing. So here's the problem. I as a veteran of the Xbox Wars, I will tell you that there are rules and ways that you can play within the rules and still be horrible. And then there are things that are against the rules where you can be even more horrible. So for example, I use this example all the time because I do this all the time because I am an ass. In Call of Duty, if you play the hardcore versions of the games in deathmatch, that means that among the many changes in the game, you can kill people in your own team. That's actually bad, right? Because the other team gets a point or whatever.
Friendly fire.
Friendly fire. Now, the point of it is, it's a mistake. You have to be careful. You're firing at a guy. A guy on your team is running between the bullets. Right. You got to stop shooting. In front of you. Now, the problem is toxicity. So that guy could, because he doesn't like you for some reason, might be running in front of your bullets on purpose. Right. Because if you do the 3 times, you get kicked out of the game. Or I'm a dick and I don't like some guy and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use these 2 and shoot this guy in the face because I can't stand him and I want him to know it, but I'm not going to go for the 3rd one and get kicked out of the game. So you can play within the rules and still be kind of toxic, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's not good behavior. It's not healthy.
That's my motto.
But you can play
within the rules, but still be kind of toxic.
Given that background now, I look at this system and I think to myself, not that I would ever go for these kinds of strikes. I don't want to get kicked off of. You have to balance the strikes versus the number of days you get booted, right? So 2 strikes is 1 day each. 3 strikes is 3 days off. But you know what? Maybe I'm going on vacation. And I'm like, I could do 7 strikes right here.
And I'm out
be
for
a real
Oh
jerk.
God.
And I'm going to be gone for a couple of days.
Anything that a company will do can be gamed. And
that's what I mean. Like people who are bad, people who are just toxic or whatever the word is you want to use, will look at this and say, I can live with some of this.
I could do that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, I feel like maybe this needs to be tightened up because I know that's going to happen. I know how terrible people are online. I know how terrible I am online, and I we'll see. And we'll see how this works. I like that they're finally doing something. This is basically like a community guidelines thing. Like they're spelling it out. They're like, look, these are the rules. You can break the rules, but you're going to get suspended. And we'll see. We'll see how this really goes down. It's possible you're doing something illegal online, whatever that might mean, and you could just lose your account after one strike. You don't need strikes. I found it amusing, sad, I guess. There was a person on my site who, having understood this new system, said, well, I don't like that you could lose all the Xbox content you purchased through the store. That's not cool. And it's like, wait a minute. But how far do you have to go to lose that? Like, what are you talking about? That is the point of punishment is that it's punishment.
It has consequences.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, to me, that's like the point. It has to be strong enough that it stops you from doing the thing.
It's tough though, because there's always going to be somebody's going to game it.
Yes.
And I can't think of anything that's not gameable. And in a way, by doing it, you kind of encourage people to kind of game it, which is
Well, what you do is you set the guidelines, right?
But you have to set the guidelines. This is like on my site, we have a community guidelines, and it's like, look, stay on topic. You do this. I'm not going to kick someone off the site because they can't stay on topic in the comments, right? But there are people who go after the other commenters very aggressively. There are people who go after the writer of the article very aggressively. One of the things I have in there is about misinformation, and it's like, well, who gets to decide what's misinformation? I do. It's my site, and I define it as something that's not a fact that's presented as if it were a fact. Like climate change isn't happening, or COVID wasn't really a pandemic.
Or that restaurant, it's not good Chinese. I understand.
Right. Yeah, right. That's a fact. So, right. No,
3.5 is not good.
I'm just saying, everyone has opinions. I mean, that's fine. And you can disagree and all that stuff, but it's,
we're okay with you being wrong. It's fine.
The point is, you have to, whatever the rules are, you can agree with them and disagree. We can debate them. It's fine. But you have to, I think I agree with Leo 100%. People are going to game this. Mm-hmm. Taking this step of just saying this is the deal.
There are rules.
Is so important.
Yeah.
Well, they must have always had explicit rules.
But they never told us what it was.
Oh, they haven't.
That's a So if you go, in other words, like I could go on X. So imagine I turn all the microphones on and I'm running around and some guy's doing some racist something, whatever it is. So I can hold down on the record button. It records the last 30 seconds. I report that guy to Xbox. Sometimes I would you hear back. Thank you for your report. Just wanted to let you know. We actually bumped this guy off. He's gone. I think, wow. But, I would say not 9 times, 7, 8 times out of 10, you don't even hear, Yeah. And sometimes you see the guy again. You're like, oh, well, there you go. There was one guy who made it very clear to me that I was the reason he lost his account on Xbox and he started a new account. And I was like, welcome back. I have a feeling this will be a temporary thing.
Looking forward to reporting you again. To be clear, the reason you lost your account is you.
Because of the way you are. Yeah,
exactly. The way you're behaving.
Yep. So anyway, I find those people to be amusing, but they're out there. So anyway, I'm glad before it was just kind of nebulous. Now it's at least specific. I do think they're going to have to adjust it.
Yeah, I would think just take a strike off a month or, it's got to be a regular, people are going to curse, right? Like that happens.
I don't think it's going to be, I hope it's not going to be for something like that.
No, they said profanity was a strike, and then they talk about a 1-day suspension for a strike.
Yeah, but if you're playing a mature game, right?
Right.
A game that's rated M.
Yeah.
And it will be there will be swearing in the game. The game includes swearing, right? So look, anyone who gets shot in a game and yells out the F word or something, I can't imagine they're going to get a strike for that. It's going to be the people who are just like sitting there on their mic, open mic. Going on and on and on.
Baldur's Gate 3 has nudity. Can I game naked?
I mean, yes.
I guess no one can tell, right? Yeah.
I don't know if you don't have a leather chair. I would say maybe.
Well, that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Not try to get up.
Like you're gonna leave in 5 minutes. You're like, I need more than that to get off of this chair. So it's gonna take. Yeah, it's like removing a Band-Aid.
That's one of the old Xbox beta stories, or not the Xbox. What was the 3D gizmo? Now the name just jumped out of my head.
3DFX.
No, the bar that you put on top of the Xbox for
the Kinect.
Motion capture. Yeah. The Kinect. In the beta of the Kinect, because there is a camera on it, when they're still trying to figure out if the model work well, an email went out to all the beta testers, says, please do not play naked.
We can see you.
Please. Yeah.
Yep.
And we need to see you. Like, it's part of our jobs, and we're not enjoying it.
We really, like, our job is tough enough already. Please don't do this to us.
Come on.
Yeah, because no offense, but the typical Xbox player, we're not talking particularly athletic here.